Let's move on with the first section, product manager and product owner. What are the roles of this? The book definition. So let's start with product manager. So product manager is someone who owns the vision of the product and someone who focuses on the long-term product's roadmap for 1 year, 2 year, something like that. Uh, that's the person who works closely with the stakeholders, including the customers. Now, the stakeholders can be anyone, can be your UI UX partner, they can be your sales team, your legal team, your marketing team, your CEOs, your boss's boss, anyone from different industry who matters on the product, whichever product you are building. Plus, those of them who pays for the product. So all those different variety of stakeholders you can have depending on what product you are working on. And lastly, but not the least, balances market needs with business goals. Now, the last one is big words, but what that means? It means this that you are a product manager, you look at user feedback, and this is your life. So that's what you do in product management. You take user feedback, you fall down, and then you get back again. So on that funny note, let's talk about the second role as well, product owner. So what product owner does? So product owner is someone who owns the product backlog. Now this is the agile and the scrum terminology, product backlog. It's there now. Working closely with the scrum team of the developers. You have a scrum team, you have a product owner works closely with the developers. He's the one who is close with the developers. Now developers are not the people who only code, but in scrum the QA, the quality assurance friends, they are also considered as a group of developers. And at the end, product owner is someone who ensures that all the sprints we are working on, we are delivering some value at the end of the sprint. And since I mentioned product backlog, print some sprint analogies, there is one thing I like to mention, that I am the product owner, hold the door, and backlog. If you know Game of Thrones, you would know this beloved character's name. Hold the door, and the backlog. Simple analogy. Uh, let's dive into the difference now of the product owner and product manager role. So I summarize this with two really small and really important points. So for product manager always focuses on what and why of the product, of the project, of that feature which you are working on. So for that, to understand the what and why, the product manager needs to be strategic. And same way, his counterpart, the product owner, he focuses on how and when. So how we are building that and when we will be building that. That's where the Scrum analogy comes in between. And that's why the PO role is tactical. Now again, two big words, strategy and tactical. Now what what do this mean? Whenever I'm in this kind of presentation or whenever I hear something like this, the big words, I feel like, okay, they are big words, but what that actually means. How do you know about this? Product manager, product owner, okay, strategy, okay, tactics. This is something I've read, but what this actually means, that is really important to tell people. And that's where the experience comes into picture. So I would talk about my experience of wherever I'm working right now with the client, there I experience the strategy and tactics actually take place. And actually I have been able to see that. So let's talk about strategy. So what is strategy? Let's dive into the first point of strategy. So whenever you are building a product, whenever you are building a feature, the product manager is always looking at the data. I have built something, the user is using that. The users are using that. A lot of users are using that. Now, what's happening when they are using it? What's how are they behaving with the product, with the feature? So for that, you always have data analytics. So you look at the data to find what are the behaviors of the users, what are the behaviors of particular section of the users, right? So that's what firstly you do. So in my experience, I work with the client who is a big retail company. So I work with their mobile application. So the first step, what we experience is in our mobile application, we have the entry point of the home screen, and we have another entry point where from home you go to shop screen where actual shopping happens, where actual browsing happens of the items. So we notice that on home page where you have the marketing banners, you have the labels, you have the offers, we want them to go to shop page where actually the browsing happens, where actually the buying happens. So we notice that in the data that from home to shop, people are mostly dropping, and they are not as many people are going to shop as they go to home where actual buying happens. So this was our data which gave us the opportunity that, hey, at the end, if we want to increase the purchase, we want people to go from home to shop, right? So now what we do, now we want to, now that we found the pain point, now that we found an opportunity that this is what we want to do, we want to see how others are doing it, right? How our competitors are working on it. So we take a look at the retail marketing giants like Walmart, like Amazon, like Shein. What are they doing? What is their experience? Because you are building something, but user is not looking at only your product. User is looking at a lot of products. Nowadays, we have so many products for same item. So they are looking at, so as a product manager, we are looking at the competitors as well as we are talking to our users. So look at others, what they are doing. Also look at us, look at our product, take the experience from user, that what are they doing. Now of course product manager is not doing that. Product manager has help from UX partners, user research partners, so all of them coming together and doing the competitive analysis, doing the user research, looking at what we are missing, what should we do and what not. And at the end of that, the output of that, the end output is some plan which a product manager and the entire team has figured out. So now what you do is you create this plan, you present this plan with the stakeholders that, hey, this is the pain point. This is where we found the opportunity, right? Uh, after finding the opportunity, we went at this place, we figured out what we can do, what we cannot do, where we are lacking, and this is our plan to present a solution or to present or to do things differently. So that's what basically the strategy means: to look at the data, to do some research, to do user research, competitive analysis, and then make a plan on the particular product or the particular feature or the particular flow. Next comes the tactics. Now that you have the plan, now you have shared with the stakeholders, right? Now product owner comes into picture. Someone has to manage the plan. Someone has to put this plan into action. So that's where your tactics come in. So what the product owner does. So first of all, they need to understand the vision and communicate this with the Scrum team. So now you know the vision, you know the pain point, you see the opportunity, you question the hell out of the competitive analysis, you question what the plan is, everything you question with the product manager, with the team, that how are we doing this and how not, and then present it to your Scrum team, communicate with the Scrum team that, hey, this is the plan, this is what is coming your way. And then you have your engineering team partners who would look at it and who would make sense now the technical way, that okay, the UX has presented all these beautiful designs, but is it realistic from what we are building? Is it realistic from the current architecture we have? What we need to do and what not? So you partner with engineering team to put words into action, but also taking care of a lot of things behind the scene with the tech architecture. And that output of the product owner would be your plan and it would be your phase delivery. So this is a big like project. We had a big project of this home shop nav redesign project, we called it. Now that's a big project. There are too many screens, too many flows are there, which are updating, which are not updating, which are going out, which are coming in. It makes huge changes in the beginning. So now you have to plan a phase. You cannot do everything together. So you have to incrementally release the feature, incrementally do changes, and then see how the users are reacting, and then know that whether we should go to the next phase or not, or whether we need to correct this particular phase itself or not. So that's where then the tactics would come in to split it and then to put it into the action. So here, strategy, tactics. Product manager, look at it, create a high level of goal, create a high level of vision, share it with people. Product owner comes in, looks at that, shares with the people who are actually going to do this, and takes their opinion, see what are the changes, and then plans with the phase delivery and puts it out in the market with the agile mindset, right? Moving on. These are the roles I mentioned from my experience from the book, right? Now you go into the industry. Now you are working in the company and you have this product owner role, product manager role, how they are defined. If you go into an industry, if you go in a company, what does the product owner do? What does the product manager do? How are their expectations of their individual roles? So I have boiled down that you have smaller industries who can, where PM often takes the role of product owner. So product manager is also doing the product ownership because they are small, they don't have budget, so they have to manage the budget as well. So product manager has to do both the responsibilities. In larger organizations, those roles can be distinct. That product manager is busy doing the strategy, analyzing the data, and product manager may not have the time to go into the tactics, go share with tech team, go into the in-depth discussion of how it's different, how it's not what we need to do, how to plan. So they just look at the strategy, and the PO comes in, takes it over from them, and builds the product with this current team. And finally, from my experience, I feel that the adoption can be based on the organizational needs as well. Uh, they may not take the names seriously that, hey, we are using Scrum, so we have to call you product owner. So since you are product owner, you don't talk about strategy. You only do tactics and someone else will do it. It might not happen, right? Where I'm working, uh, what we are doing is in my company there is only one role, product manager, right? There is no product owner, but this is a big retail giant. Why are they doing like that? So they have different names of the role. What they do is product manager, product owner, but hey, we don't want to be in this mess. Product manager, senior product manager. So that senior product manager is doing the strategy and the product manager is doing the tactics, and both can also do the same work. So at the end, what I boil down is this: product owner, product manager. What I do is I do not take these names too seriously. What I take seriously is the work they do. What is that work? It may be strategy, it may be tactics, you may be product owner and doing the strategy, you may be product manager and doing the tactics. Whatever you do, you can be rest assured that you are going in the right direction for that particular role, because no matter who you are in this role, product owner, product manager, your basic goal, your end goal would be to have the maximized value from that particular product or that feature. So as I said, the first two topics about product owner, product management, I hope I have covered most of the things I wanted to cover, right? Please note down your questions if you have anything. Uh, Ask me at the end. I'll try my best to answer any questions related to this. This based on my experience. If I cannot, I'll take that back and I'll answer you later. Now that we have seen that how the product manager works, how the product owner works, what is strategy, what is tactics, this and that, the roadmap, vision, etc., the stakeholders, what and whatnot, right? We have seen all this. Now, how others see us within that Scrum team. So you are in the Scrum team. The Scrum team consists of developers who are developers and QA. Then there is Scrum Master. Then there is your product owner and slash manager. So others, how others are looking at you. So I wanted to show that engineering team's perspective as well, because remember I mentioned that I as well have been a developer, a QA. So I have some perspective from that side as well of the engineering team, as well as from the product side, that what actually product manager do and what others think they do or how they see us, right? So to start with, of course, they see product manager or product owner as a go-to person to ask any questions on the requirement, right? I'm working on a story. It says go from button A to screen A to screen B. I have some questions. Who I ask? Product owner. That's the first person, right? Second person, second point. He is the person who is driving our Scrum ceremonies. So he's there in my sprint planning. He's there in the backlog refinement. He puts the story. He makes understand this is how it's going to be working. These are the steps. Any questions, whatever. So that's the product owner. He's also there in the reviews. So when we are doing the demos at the end, the product owner is there. I have seen as a developer, my product owner would be there in the demos, talking to stakeholders about what we have built and what not, what we will be building in future. That also they'll share. So that's what the engineering team knows about us. Third thing is this: the backlog policeman. So product owner is going to tell you that, hey, don't take the items from below, take the items from top. So that's what I call backlog policeman. This is something I experience as a developer. I like the spike a lot, which was way back in the backlog, way below in the backlog. So I picked that because I like that. But then the product owner saw that and no, don't take this one. Ask me before taking. Take the first item in backlog because this is order. Then I realized, oh, okay, that's how it is. Okay, that's when I realized that how the backlog is managed. This is way back like 5, 6 years ago. And then the product owner or product manager, something I do that's like overexcited cheerleader who would bring new features every day as a candy, like a kid, because I have a 2-year-old. But hey, candy store is full. So developers are like, hey, okay, you brought so many features, but we have to see this, we have to see that. So they see us as an overexcited candidate as well. Now, since we saw some points from others, that how others see product manager or product owner, many of you might be thinking that, hey, why should I even care? Like, why should I care how others look at me? I would work the way I want to work. This is my role and I know what to do. So I would do that. But I would say that we should care as a product owner or product manager, or any role should care how others see your role as. So this is the point: I should care. Why I should care? Let's see. So the reason we should care is, if you know the perspective of your close engineering partners, you would realize that understanding that a product owner as someone like me can help drive some crucial points. What are those points? Let's start with number one. So the collaboration. Uh, Sometimes what happens is the team might think, the product team, the team, Scrum team who we work with, they might think that, okay, we are from different teams. So product team is getting this, product team is getting that, but they don't understand that we together are product team. So we have to make them understand that we are the same team. So that's why we have to first of all know that they don't, sometimes they feel like we are outsiders. And since we are not the ones spending a lot of time with product team, but we are spending time outside for the product team. So that Knowing their perspective helps us make them understand how. So how we can make them understand? We can make them understand by spectrum of the PO world. So what does that mean? We can highlight the wide range of responsibilities a product manager owns. A product manager, product owner does not only talk to the product team. Uh, we have to talk to so many people outside, like the stakeholders I mentioned in the beginning. We have to talk to UI, UX. We have to talk to different tech teams who we are clients of, sales team, marketing team, legal team. Sometimes you're working on your project, someone else comes up with, oh, that's a legal requirement. We have to change this sentence because there are a lot of complaints outside. So we have to take that in consideration as well. So we have to show them that, okay, this is our responsibility as well as a product owner. What that does is it enhances the empathy between our team. So the team sometimes may feel that, okay, whatever product owner is bringing, it's not reasonable, it does not make sense. But when they know this, when they have this idea of our horizon of what a product manager is doing, then they might look at it with some empathy that, okay, we understand his or her perspective as well as a product manager, which eventually improves the communication between the team with the constructive feedback. And I'll talk about this last, but I have one experience to share here. So in my team, we had a redesign of a particular project. So redesign meaning changing the colors of a particular brand. So we tell this to the team, we bring that to the team, and team is okay, easy enough, let's do this. And we did it. After some time, the color changed again. So now they had to do it again. So they did it again. And unfortunately, it happened the third time. So the team was a bit frustrated because they thought that, okay, we are making this change, but what's happening and whatnot, what is the final verdict? But as a product owner, as a product manager, they failed to realize that, okay, it's not something the product owner is bringing, it's something, it's coming from a higher management, it's coming from the boss's boss, the CEO. So I mentioned stakeholders. So one of the stakeholders can come from any of the stakeholders. It's possible that it's not part of your strategy, it's not part of your tactics, but still it comes in. Sometimes you have to do it. So when they understand this, when you tell them the spectrum of what we are dealing with, what a product manager deals with, then they can understand that, okay, that's why we are doing it. So next time we had another project where there was a text change, and we did a lot of meeting, we did a lot of talk about how we will handle it. And we did good work on that, on how to handle it. But it was not executed because now the team knew that, okay, this change is brought by the PO, but it's brought because there is some tax changes from the government. Now government has to implement that. Then only we'll be able to implement it. So they knew this beforehand because of my previous experience. So that's why I mentioned that we need to let the others understand our perspective as well, so they can be more empathetic towards us. They can see our perspective, and they can that helps us drive a better communication within the team. And last is user-centered approach. That's really important because we build the feature for user. The user is always right. The user does not understand the technical jargons. The user does not understand strategy. They don't understand the architecture. They don't understand Java. They don't understand mobile application. They don't understand anything. So we as a product owner always have to bring up the user-centric approach, which is talking as a simple user. No technicality, no nothing. If this button A is going from A to B, why it's going there? What is the reason? I need some information, some really basic user like information. If we show this to the Scrum team, then they would understand that, okay, when we develop something, when something new comes, we also have to think like the user. Because developers, QAs, when they work so technical, they become so technical that they might see things the way it is working in the code. That's it. They might not think as a user sometimes. So when we see things as user, they would understand, we can pass this nature to them, and then they can understand while developing as well, which is good for developer, which is good for a product, and overall for the team as well. So these are few points we have to understand, that why we should care about how others see. So this is, so we what we so far what we covered is, what is the role of product manager, what is the role of product owner, what is the difference, how the industry sees that, how we should work, and how the other team members see us as well. Now this is really interesting point which I came across. So I tell, whoever asks me, I tell them, okay, what is your role? I say product manager. So people who are not technical, or people who are my parents, my relatives, my friends who are not technical, when I tell them that I am product manager, they're like, oh, project manager. Okay, no, I'm product manager. Ah, okay, project manager. So that's when I realized that, okay, there are a lot of nuances between these roles. So I have to bring this up as well, that I started to understand what is project manager, what is product manager, what are they do, because I have worked with project manager a lot, and you already know what is product manager. So let's go into what project manager is. I'm sure a lot of people know this, but I would talk from the perspective of product manager, that when a product manager is working with a scrum team, what is the role of project manager, because he is also there. And my first really interesting point is this: he is an invisible scrum team member. It's not mentioned in scrum book. It's from my experience, I'm telling this, not mentioned anywhere in the book, but I feel it's an invisible scrum team member. Why? Because he's always there in the scrum meeting. He's always there in the planning. Not always, but he tries to be there whenever possible. Whenever he's there, the project manager, he tries to understand what we are doing and what not. Why? He's trying to understand the high level vision of the product, because he's project manager, but he also needs to understand what is the high level vision. He does not create that vision, but he needs to understand that. So he's silently there, observing what's happening and whatnot. Why he's doing that? Because he has to manage the budget and the resources. I can have, as a product manager, all the great vision of the world. I can have all the amazing strategies, all the amazing tactics, right? All the competitive analysis I can do, but I need resources to build it. I need people to take things to action. So for that, project manager helps you to find the budget, find the resources. And eventually all this will play an important role to enable the team delivering the project. So just to summarize these first 3 points, when the project manager knows and understands the vision, project manager knows now that what resources it would take, what budget I have, based on the budget, how many people I should hire, whatever people I have, are they good enough? Oh, I see these two new features are coming up. Maybe I need to hire one contractor for part time, because I see that, okay, people are there. The project is not that big. So let me hire a part time contractor for 3 months. Maybe I'll extend him. Maybe I'll not. Maybe I'll need intern. I need full time now. I need part time. So all this decision project manager is taking, looking at the vision of the product and providing it to the team. Now he's not only looking at what your technical capabilities. The project manager is also looking how that person fits into the scrum team. Because remember, he's an invisible scrum team member. All the scrum team, the developers, the QA, who they report to someone. They are not reporting to scrum master. They are not reporting to product owner or product manager. They are reporting to someone who is project manager. So project manager is doing one-on-one with everyone. So he knows what is the chemistry in the team, how the team is behaving with each other, how is the collaboration between the team. So based on that, even if someone is pretty technical, pretty good, the project manager looks at his soft skills as well. looks at how he fits in the environment. And that is also project manager's second criteria. Product owner does not know about any of this. Product manager does not know about any of this. He is not closely working with product with the development team. He's working only for the requirement, but within them, how they are behaving, how they are collaborating with each other on technical terms, that product owner, product manager does not know, but the project manager knows. So based on that, he helps constructing a team who, in his best knowledge, works well together, and they are technical as well. If not technical, he knows that whatever strength and weaknesses they have, all of them are able to manage their strength and weakness to help deliver the good project, help deliver the efficient project. And in turn, that helps your product owner, your product manager. So that is your project manager. That is what I have seen in my experience, the project manager's role. Now, again, why is that I am putting that? So I mentioned we somehow forget the role of project manager because he's an invisible Scrum team member. We don't know his project manager's role. We don't know how important it is. So that's why I wanted to mention. And second thing, I had a funny take on product project manager's role, how people take it. So this is something like this. That little boy is me. I told them that I was a PM and they thought that I meant project manager. So that was my funny take on this role. There is another reason I mentioned this, which we'll talk about. Now we'll talk about we are approaching the end. So now we'll talk about the anti-pattern of working as product manager. So we know the strategy, the tactics, everything we know, but every time we cannot follow that, right? Sometimes it's possible that we might go into different direction, not opposite, but different direction, which I feel it's good to call out. One thing is not understanding the why behind the development, behind the product development. We are building a lot of features. We are building this feature, we are building that feature, but why are we building that feature? This is something really important for us as a product manager to understand. And this is really simple way I can make you understand. There are Backstreet Boys who has a song, Tell Me Why. There is 5-year-old kid who would ask, tell me why. And in between, there is your product manager who has to say, tell me why. Whenever you are building a project or feature, your first thought should be, why are we building this? You as a product manager, product owner needs to be clear on whatever you are building, why are you building, who it serves to, who it does not serve to, what problems it's solving, what opportunity it's meeting. Because to develop any feature or product, there are a lot of money involved in it. There is a lot of effort involved in it, and you need to be really sure about the outcome of it, which is greater than what you are giving to the project. So that's one reason. Second reason is when you don't understand that, when you don't understand the why, you kind of become a project manager. You transition to project manager, which is okay, we have to deliver this feature, get the requirements, we have the resources, let's do this. You want to do this? Okay, UX can design this guy can design this. Okay, you develop the mobile application, you test it, and move on, right? So eventually what happens is you are a product manager, that's a product strategy, and that is whatever the CEO tells. This is the GIF, but it means someone tells you to build this and you build it. That's it. You are not understanding the why. You are not questioning it. You don't know why you are building it. So this is the second anti pattern. And the last one is people get fascinated by the quantity of features we are delivering. So people or people around you would think that okay, there are lots of features, so that's good, but it's not necessarily good because quality is more important than the quantity. You might be having a lot of features, but are they useful? Are they getting something you out of it? Is that feature used by the users? If it's used, is it good? Is it smooth? Does that have any errors? Not errors. So those things are also important. So that's why quality is more important than quantity. For example, we had one sprint where we were taking lots of bugs, but the technical team asked we should not take bugs, we should also take the features. So at that time, I had to make them realize that okay, these are the bugs, these are the new feature. The user who is using it right now, they don't care about what new feature is. They care about this bug, which is not letting them do something which we are claiming. So whatever we have, we tell them that you go to screen, you touch this button, you go to screen one. So it should do that. It should go to screen one. Doesn't matter. We cannot add screen two if if button does not take you to screen one. So this is this is the way I represent it. More feature is more sell. Someone tells me, and I'm like this. Hmm, maybe it's more features are not more sell. If you have this attitude, then maybe I guess you are on the different direction. You should quickly jump on to the quality part of that as well. And if someone asks you, you can provide a good explanation of why quality is important as well. So approaching the end, my take on the product management role, what a product manager does. I think a product manager is jack of all trades, because if you are building a feature, product manager has to know the UI UX. He balances multiple responsibility, just like a juggler with so many balls in the air. So you're talking to UX, you are talking to your engineering partners. The engineering partners talk to UX. So you have to be sure of whatever you are building. You know ins and out of that, and you know who will help you in what section of that particular feature. Second thing, you are a data detective, meaning that we have to dig deep into data to uncover the insight. Like I mentioned, the strategy part, where you have to see that what is how is the product is behaving. The home and shop example which I mentioned. The third one is captain of collaboration. Now you are jack of all trades. You know UI UX is going to do this. You know engineering partner are going to do this, but you have to let both these worlds come together, and you have to keep navigating between them and keep them on the course. You are the one. UX is going to tell, hey, this is not working as expected. The engineering are the one is telling you that, hey, the designs are not there for this particular design. So it's product owner, product manager's responsibility to bring different teams together, let them collaborate, and just sit and enjoy the show sometimes, right? Both of them will talk about their UX design, and the engineering partner can talk about their technical architecture, and you just sit behind and see where they need you as a product manager. And lastly, but not the least, you are always voice of the customer. So you have to amplify the voice of customers, because at the end, whatever you are building, the user, the customer who are actually using it will be most impactful for you, because they are the one bringing in the money. They are the one bringing in the impact. So you have to amplify the voice of customers, and you should never forget the customers. So I think with that, I will end my presentation, and I open up for any questions. Thank you, Avenue Code, and thank you everyone who joined, who gave me this opportunity to present this product ownership, product management subject. And I hope it must have helped you somewhere here. So yeah, any questions?
Congratulations, Eva. It was a great presentation. So people feel free if you want to
Thank you.
ask any questions now. It's open to you.
Thank you, Angelo.
So I may ask you something. What was the biggest challenge that you have faced as a product manager so far?
Yeah. So the biggest challenge you face as a product manager is, I think, juggling a lot of things at one time. So I have had, so our Q3 was there, quarter three. So we were having 5 to 6 features to work on together. So I'm working on 5 to 6 features. I have a lot of chats open of of the developers asking about different features, and also at the same time we have to work to be ready for the next quarter features. So you are doing discovery and requirement gathering for that as well. So for that you are working with team outside your team. So first you talk to your team, then you identify who you need to talk to, then you talk to other people as well. So juggling the responsibility, context switching is really challenging for a product manager. Right now you are in this meeting where you're talking about feature one of current quarter, then in the next meeting you are suddenly talking about something way back in future or way ahead in future. And when you are doing this, maybe there is someone coming up with, hey, the higher management has said that this is the big error, we are not able to see this falls under your team, do you have someone who can support? So all those things can come in between as a product manager, and you have to keep your head straight and be really good at switching the context at different times.
And what was the nicest product you have worked with that you have launched, helping launch it?
Yeah, the nicest product is the one I'm working with right now. The big retail company I mentioned, with the strategy which I mentioned, the shop nav redesign. So that is something I was part of from start to end. So looking at the data, then building a plan with the UI UX team, with user research team, and coming up with what we should do, then plan with the team. And I fall in the category where both the PM and PO work I had to do. So I was able to see through some part of it. I couldn't finish the full phase because I was moved to different team, but at least I was able to create a plan and execute some part of the phase in the beginning. So that was really good for me to have that experience from start till the bit of before end.